Today's question of the week comes from Khan. Khan asks, how do I get rid of shuffling feet or a dragging foot after a stroke? Let's talk about why someone shuffles. So if this is my weaker leg, okay? If you go to take a step with your weak leg and you have a bent knee and you go toes first, you're gonna shuffle. So watch. I take a step with my good leg, my bad leg. Bent knee, toes first, drag. Bent knee, toes first, drag. Bent knee, toes first, drag. That is bad. All right, so what does a good walking movement look like? And this is what all of our exercises will focus on. A good movement looks like the opposite. Instead of a bent knee and toe first, I'm gonna actually work on locking my knee at back and getting my heel first. So locked knee, heel first. So that would look something like this. I step with my good leg, okay? When I'm coming to this point and I wanna do, watch, lock my knee, heel first. Ready? Step. I'm coming forward, lock my knee, heel first. So I'll show you that one more time. I step with my good leg, right? I'm going to step. A bad movement would be toes and bent knee. That will make you shuffle. A good movement is I'm coming forward, right? I'm gonna lock my knee, put my heel down first. Coming forward, lock my knee, put my heel down first. So let's get started on 4 exercises you can do to get rid of a shuffling foot after a stroke. Specifically, we'll show you one version of each exercise in standing, in sitting, and laying down. So no matter what level you're at, you can start these. And the other thing is, from an equipment standpoint, you don't really need much or anything. You can find common items at home. I will specifically be using a cone, which I got these off Amazon, and they're super useful. I'll show you the link. I'll also be using this little sponge that I also got on Amazon. But again, anything, you don't even actually need this, but anything squishy around your house you can use. So let's get started. Exercise number 1, flexibility in your ankle is imperative. So you want to make sure you're stretching your calf muscle on the foot that's shuffling. So here's 3 ways to do that. 1 in standing, 1 in sitting, and 1 laying down. When stretching your calf muscle and standing, the key here with stretching this muscle is making sure you have a straight knee when you do it. So one way to do this, you can do it on a wall, you can do a bed frame, anything that you can lift your toes up on. You're going to, making sure this knee is straight, push your toes up against something like hard like this, and you're gonna feel with your heel down, and you're gonna feel a stretch in your calf muscle. Another way to do this is to grab a cane, hold on to something for support. Remember, straight knee, pull your toes up until you feel a stretch in the back of your calf. Same concept in sitting. You're going to make sure your knee is straight, scoot forward in your chair, and push your toes up against a hard surface like a wall or a bed frame, and you're gonna feel a stretch in the back of the calf. You can lean forward to make that deeper, but ultimately you wanna stretch these muscles back here so you have enough motion in your ankle to be able to walk without a shuffle. Also, you can use a cane, straight knee, pull your toes forward. You can get a good stretch that way as well. Same concept with laying down. You can take a cane and making sure that your knee is straight. You can take the cane and pull your toes toward you so you feel a good stretch in your calf muscle and your ankle. Exercise number 2 is called a locked knee leg raise. We will show you a version of this in standing, sitting, and laying down. And the reason this movement is important is because it's going to start to train your brain and your muscles on how it needs to move when it's walking, so that you can clear your foot so it's not dragging. All right, so for lock the knee raises, leg raises, the goal of this exercise is to practice moving from the hip with a locked knee. This is going to help when you're walking and you're trying to get that heel first motion. So for these, if you're standing, make sure you're hanging on and supported by something if needed. you're going to make sure you move from that hip, right? But you're gonna lock that knee out and you're just gonna simply raise your leg, toes to the ceiling. You may need to start with small motions. Do them until you hit like a fatigue factor, and then you can work on getting larger motions. A version of this sitting down is simply to scoot forward in your chair. You're going to make sure that knee is locked out and your toes are pointed towards the ceiling. And then you're just gonna do little tiny movements while you're raising that leg. As a therapist, what I like to do is I sit on the floor and I'll put my hand in front of the person as a target, and I'll say, like, so I'll be a little lower, but I'll say, touch my toe. Or I'm sorry, touch your toe to my hand, touch your toe to my hand, just to give them something to go towards. A version of this exercise laying down or sitting up, you can, in a bed, you can be supported by something in your back. You can lean back and you can practice raising with a straight knee. Your heel and leg are just gonna come up like this. Try to keep toes to the ceiling. You can do this laying down as well, and practice getting that leg up as high as you can with a locked knee and toes to the ceiling. You can also do this on your side. Lock the knee out. Make sure your toes are pointing towards the wall. And you're just gonna take, and you can practice going back and forth. You're probably really gonna feel this in your hip, and it's gonna strengthen your knee so you can really make sure it's locking into the place the way that it should. Exercise number 3 is called heel taps. So we're gonna focus on getting your heel down first. And again, this is training the not only the brain, but the muscle and the movement in your leg to start focusing on heel first. For this, I'll be using a sponge. You can use anything around your house. So let's show you the version of this exercise, standing, sitting, and laying down. Let's go over heel taps. So for heel taps, what you're gonna do is you're gonna stand supported and you're gonna find something squishy. I like to use a sponge, but you can also use, like I've seen people use a dog toy, anything soft. So for this exercise, the goal is to practice heel first. Remember, if your heel comes down first when you're walking, your toes will clear. Versus if your toes come first, you're gonna get this drag in your shuffling motion. So stand supported. You're gonna practice driving that heel down into the sponge and locking that knee out. And that is the exercise. Now, what I like to do is, so heel first, lock the knee. Heel first, lock the knee. What I like to do is I like to have patients do a circle. So I like to have them go top. So you push the sponge back. I like to have them do top, side, back, side, then tap the sponge with your heel as number 1. And then we do it again. Top, around the circle, side, heel first, back, side, tap the sponge for number 2. A seated version of this, you're going to scoot forward in your chair, and I'll show you more of a side angle for this view. You're gonna have something squishy on the floor, and your goal is to drive your heel down into that sponge or that object so you feel it squish down. And again, you're training your muscles in your leg, you're training your brain, what it feels like to do heel first. So that's the goal of this. You can also do the game where I said you kind of go in a circle, heel, 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 heel. Again, focus on driving that heel into an object. A laying down version of this exercise would be to take your weaker leg, find any sort of object you can put at the end as a way to target, and you're gonna bend and push until your heel touches and moves the object. Bend and push until your heel moves and touches the object. Exercise number 4. This exercise is called step over. Specifically, you'll be doing this in standing. There is a version in sitting you can practice. We'll be using these cones. This is a little bit more of an advanced move, but this is really how you start breaking down a step, which will then lead to you walking without a shuffle. Cone step over. So for this exercise, you're gonna Find something in your house that you can step over. And the object here is if you want to start by holding on to something and you're going to step over the cone or the object, heel first, lock my knee and come down. You're going to practice that over and over, heel first, and then come forward. So you're now stepping over something. This is a more advanced move. And if you need, make sure if you feel like you're going to fall, you have someone next to you. But then what you can start practicing is if you do a step, you can do heel, and then you can start practicing kind of walking, heel first, to start to remind the brain and the muscle how it's supposed to move. A seated version of this would be to scoot up in your chair. You can put an object in front of you and you're going to put it kind of close to your chair. You're going to practice stepping over, heel first, and bringing your leg back. Stepping over, heel first, and coming back. Stepping over, heel first, and coming back. Thanks for watching. As a reminder, we put out one question a week, and you can submit a question that's therapy related, specific to how to rehab after a stroke on our website at strokerewind.com. We have a simple form you can fill out, and we pick one a week. We'll notify you and we'll submit a video like this to our YouTube channel. So make sure you take advantage of that. Also, if you enjoyed this, please like, save, and share, because the more interest we have, the more likely we can do like some really cool content, some great videos. Have a great day.